and welcome back to my channel, Therapized Life. Today is the 5th video wrapping up our mental health series, and this video is going to be broken into 2 parts. In the first part, we're going to be talking about the signs and symptoms of knowing when to seek treatment, and in part 2 of the video, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 types of mental health professionals because a lot of people confuse and don't know what person to go to when they're trying to find somebody for treatment. Alright guys, if you've been enjoying my content, please make sure that you're hitting like on all the videos and just subscribe down below because it really helps my channel since it's so small to get me out there to the big YouTube world. Alright guys, let's get started with today's video. Alright, so when it comes time to assess whether or not someone needs to seek treatment or needs to be talking to a mental health professional, the biggest point to realize is there is no one size fits all. Everybody's ability to manage stress, to deal with things going on in their lives, varies from person to person. So just know that this is an individual thing, and what applies to you and reasons you might need to seek treatment might vary from somebody else and why they might need to seek treatment. But the biggest thing to realize is there should never be any shame. You should never be embarrassed if something comes up or for some reason you do need to reach out and seek treatment for mental health reasons. People have numerous reasons why things in their life become overwhelming and they're not able to better manage stress. So when that happens, the biggest thing is that you're able to identify that this is occurring and that you know how to seek the appropriate treatment as necessary. So let's get into these reasons why that happens. One main reason why people need to seek treatment is that they notice that they're feeling extremely sad or down, or that they just can't pull themselves out of the funk. Maybe you're not feeling motivated. You just want to sleep all day and I don't know what's going on, but you don't know why, but you just can't seem to find that joy that you found before. That might be a really key sign and reason to say that, hey, it's time for me to get some help. Another factor that makes people need to seek treatment is that they're really stressed. They're really anxious. Everything's making them nervous. Everything's making them worry. All the time their mind is racing. They just can't relax. For some reason, they just feel on edge and everything just stresses them, and nothing they do, their self-care strategies, no matter what they try to do normally to relax, it just can't. And so that could be another key sign that, hey, it's time to seek treatment. A third factor is that you're frustrated, you're irritable, you're angry, you're snapping at people. Everything's making you mad. For some reason, any little thing anybody says or does, you're going off on somebody, you're yelling at them, you're just not yourself. You don't know why, but everything irritates you. And like, I don't know why, but I'm just angry. That could be a key sign that you need to definitely seek treatment and figure out what's going on. Another key sign is that you just can't cope. Life becomes overwhelming. No matter what's happening, you just can't figure it out and you just can't manage it. Day-to-day things like taking care of your kids or taking care of yourself, getting to work becomes too much to bear. And everything is too much of a burden for you to be able to manage like you normally do day-to-day. Not being able to cope and deal with regular and day-to-day activities, or when a minor stressor is a major stressor and everything becomes too much, that could be another sign that you're not doing well and you need to seek treatment. Another sign is that if you're a person who's normally social and you're around people and you enjoy hanging out, now you're withdrawn. Now you isolate yourself. You don't want to be around anybody. When people try to spend time with you, reach out to you, you find that you cut them off. You're not responding, or if you do respond, it's very short, and then you just don't want to do anything anymore. You're turning down offers to hang out with friends, or you're just not answering your phone, or you keep saying, I'll get back with you, but you're never getting back with anybody. And you don't know why, but you just know that I can't tell you why, but I just don't feel like hanging out with anybody. That could be a definite sign that you need to seek treatment. Sometimes your body will give you physical symptoms that something's going wrong to kind of alert you that, hey, maybe I need to talk to somebody or reach out for treatment. Some of these signs are changes in appetite. If you're a person who normally eats 2 to 3 meals a day and all of a sudden you're not hungry at all, no matter how long it's been 12 hours and I eat maybe a bite or 2, but I don't feel like eating. Or some people stress eat. They eat their feelings, if you will. So they're constantly putting food in their mouth and they don't know why, but I just keep eating, I keep eating. And it's not necessarily to feel a hunger, but for some reason I just feel the need to eat more food, to feel some void that I'm feeling. I don't know why I feel this void, but I feel like I need to put food in my mouth to help me feel better. That could be your body showing you a sign that something's going on and you need to talk to somebody else. Another sign could be changes in your sleep patterns. Either you're not sleeping at all. Before, you could go to sleep easily at night. You lay down, you go right to sleep. But now you find that you're tossing and turning, and even if you haven't slept all day, you still struggle to go to sleep. And even when you finally do go to sleep, you find yourself waking up multiple times throughout the night, or tossing and turning and having bad dreams. Or conversely, you're sleeping all the time, And normally you're energetic, you can wake up and you're good to go for the day. But this time, even if you've gotten 12, 14 hours of sleep, you're still feeling exhausted and drained, and you just want to take naps all day. You don't want to do anything. You just constantly in the bed feeling like you need more and more sleep. These are physical signs that our body shows us that something is off, something is wrong, and it's a definite sign that, hey, I need to reach out to somebody. When it comes to kids and teens, sometimes they show things a little differently. A lot of times, a surefire way that something's going on with kids is behavioral changes, especially if it's something that is a complete change in the way your child normally acts. Could be their way of telling you, something is wrong with me, but I don't know how to tell you, mom or dad, that something is wrong with me. So I just have to show you something is off in my behavior and hope that you pick up on the signs and signals that something is off and that I need help. So now that we know the signs and symptoms and know when we need to seek treatment, let's move on to the second part of the video where we break down the various types of mental health professionals out there so we know where to go when we need to seek that treatment. There are three main types of mental health providers, and they are psychiatrist or psychiatric nurse practitioner, psychologist, or therapist. Now, disclaimer, I'm going to greatly oversimplify these positions, and I'm doing that intentionally, and that's because a lot of people tend to confuse and don't know where to go when they're trying to seek treatment. So by making these as simple as possible, at least when somebody comes to you or you have to go yourself to get treatment, you'll know kind of where to start. We're going to start first with the psychiatrist or psychiatric nurse practitioner, which is what I do in my day-to-day practice. A psychiatrist or psychiatric nurse practitioner has an advanced degree. In the case of a psychiatrist, they went to medical school. They're a MD or a DO. In the case of a nurse practitioner, they went to nursing school and then followed it up with some advanced nursing training to get their nurse practitioner degree. Both of these people are able to diagnose various types of mental health disorders, but their main focus is on medication management. In other words, when you go to see a psychiatrist, you go to see them to get medication to treat your psychiatric disorder. For example, you're depressed, you're not feeling well, so you go see your psychiatrist or your psychiatric nurse practitioner, and they prescribe you a medication to take, and they do follow-ups with you to see how the medication is doing. So again, their primary focus is medication and helping you get better and treating the symptoms with medication to help you get over it. Similar to going to see your primary care doctor for high blood pressure, they give you a medicine for that. All right, the second type of mental health provider is a psychologist. A psychologist also has an advanced degree, but this time it's a PhD or a Psych D degree. Typically, it's a doctoral degree in something like clinical studies or therapy or something along those lines. In the case of their degree, they have advanced knowledge as well. They are very good. They're also able to assess and diagnose mental health disorders, but their focus is more on clinical assessment, and their focus is more on being able to do clinical testing and differentiate between the disorders. They also do some psychotherapy as well, so they do some talk therapy helping people work through things as well. But a lot of times what they tend to focus on, because they do have that advanced degree, is clinical assessment or that psychological testing. So in this case, for example, say you're an adult and you come in and they're wondering, hey, I think you might have bipolar disorder. Well, then you'll be referred over to see a psychologist so they could do additional testing, clinical testing, and further assess. So they're able to see, because they're really good at knowing the fine nuances between the various types of disorders to better be able to tell what exactly is going on. And it's very key to get the exact disorder. That way, when you're being treated with medication, you're able to treat it effectively. Psychologists do not do medication management. Again, they focus more on the testing, the diagnosing, and sometimes the therapy aspect of it, but they do not prescribe. Next, we move on to the third type of mental health provider, which is a therapist. And this is what people typically think of when they think of somebody going to therapy or going to somebody to talk for. That's typically the therapist. Therapists can be anywhere from a bachelor's level all the way up to a master's level, but they don't typically have that advanced degree like the psychologists do of having a PhD degree. With a therapist, again, they're able to assess as well, but they do not diagnose disorders most of the time. And they also are there more to do interventions like working on various types of therapies with you. For example, cognitive behavioral therapy, or maybe talk therapy, or different things like that. Or if it's a child, they might do play therapy. So they do different interventions to work through to help you be able to learn coping skills and ways of better dealing with whatever's going on because of your psychiatric condition. So for example, this is say somebody who their kid is anxious and stressed, and they're a little hesitant about starting their child on some medication. Or maybe their kid's angry and getting upset and fighting all the time, but they're not quite ready yet to start their kid on some med. A lot of times they'll start first with some therapy. So they'll go to a therapist, and that person will do some play therapy with that child. And then if find that they need further intervention, they move on to the other types of providers. Now, again, there's a lot of overlap between the three types. And also, they also is a lot of collaboration as well. For instance, a lot of times the therapist will collaborate with the psychiatrist, so that way they're on the same page as far as what they're treating. The psychiatrist will keep track of how the medications are working, and the therapist will keep track of how the coping skills are working. That way they're treating the person holistically instead of just treating one facet of them. And again, this is a gross oversimplification, but it is done so you kind of know where to start. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys are better able to identify signs and symptoms and know when you or someone you care about needs to go seek treatment. I also hope this helped to kind of clarify the various types of mental health providers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and also don't forget to subscribe down below. Every person who subscribes greatly helps because I'm such a small channel, and it helps to get me out there in the YouTube world. And also, I'll be back on Wednesday with another video. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Have a great day.